Are we happy? Guys, we're young people, let's dance. El Shaddai. El Shaddai, come in front of two. El Shaddai, yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, clap for Joseph El Shaddai from Salt TV.
Yeah.
El Shaddai.
Well done,
Let's go.
Spectre.
Guys, let's clap for Joseph El Shaddai. Yeah, we're following El Shaddai. Yeah. Some people are not dancing. Yeah. Empire Nation. Mahoro. One last one. Yeah.
Well done,
Let's clap for El
Shaddai.
Shaddai. Thank you. Mahoro.
Thank you so much, the CMH band. A round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, for the band. They're doing such a great job. We can now have our seats.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, gentlemen and ladies, for joining us. We have just a quick question as we enter our next session, and I request the production team to just flash that question on the screen. Earlier on, we gave you some sticky notes. I request you put your answer on those sticky notes, and we shall just make our way and pin them there. After this particular session, we'll be able to read some of the insights. So I request the production team to just, flash that question on our screens so that our panelists, our invitees can be able to answer that particular question.
The team in production, please, the question.
Production. It's not a difficult question, really. Okay, it is there. So on your sticky notes, we request that you answer that particular question.
Yes, what is your takeaway from the significance of fact checks and media literacy stories in navigating today's evolving media landscape? That's the question. So you gotta put your answer down and then you move straight up to the board there, stick it up, and then maybe later on we'll be able to, go through some of those.
Okay. Have you written an answer already? Doesn't have to be a paragraph, really.
If you don't have a pen, please ask your neighbor, a pen.
And you will tell your family or your people on your wedding that, it was the pen first. She gave me a pen, and then after, the math started mathing. Yeah. Anybody done? Are we done? Okay, you're done. So you can just move here.
If you're done, please move to the board.
Or we could have just someone pick those sticky notes off your hands to just support. Unia can help us with that. You can give your sticky notes to Unia. She'll be able to just put them up there. We're going to give you 3 more minutes to finish this particular activity.
And also a reminder for you to join the conversation online. We're using the hashtag MCI Talks. That's on X, formerly Twitter, and also YouTube. Those that are watching us online, we thank you so much for taking off some time to join the conversation. We don't take that for granted. Thank you so much.
Yeah, this lady is called Mahoro Proskovia, and I can proudly say she's my friend.
I forget that I'm Proskovia sometimes.
Yeah, so she works with Kiss FM. What do? You can explain yourself, by the way.
I thought you were going to do the honors.
I can continue? Okay. So she works at Kiss FM as a radio presenter. She is a Media Challenge Fellow. We were in the same class, 2020.
That's
the
right.
longest class. Yeah, and the COVID class.
We enjoyed that, by the way.
In fact, we did. We did. We are one of those
ever.
that used to do a fellowship on Zoom and receive some facilitation.
For free, yeah?
Right, you people. Media Challenge Initiative, thank you. Yeah. So our story starts from 2020 in the Media Challenge Fellowship. Right now, as we speak, she's on radio, she's shining, yeah? And can I say that you're also married?
Yes, I
Very
am.
wedded
Very
in
married.
church. So if you were trying, the goods are out of stock.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
Use that information.
What an introduction. Thank you so much, Edgar.
You're welcome.
So yes, I work with Kiss FM Uganda. the newest addition to Capital Radio Network. So there's Kiss FM, there's Beat FM, and then there's Capital FM. So I be on air every Saturday, that's from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. Kalango Badia. Then every Sunday, 7 a.m. until 10 a.m. I'm good company. I trust I am. So make a date then.
Wow. Okay, I hope we are done so that we can enter the next session. So we can move forward, I guess. Yes. As you write those sticky notes, Unia and the ushers will be able to pick them and plug and put them right there. Okay.
A little music, the band. Do we have a little music? Everyone make sure Unia takes your sticky notes because at least we'll be glad that you took part in this activity. So we're due for the next panel, ladies and gentlemen, and who is taking lead is Edgar Matthew Karahanga, the gentleman you see right here. And so let's put our hands together to welcome Edgar, and he'll be welcoming his team. Thank you.
Okay, let's pretend as if she didn't say that. Let's go back. Please clap for Edgar Matthew Karahanga. Thank you. Thank you. It's very, very important that we support ourselves. Okay, the band, thank you so much for that support. I would love to welcome you once again to this edition of the MV Talks 2024. And of course, it's proudly partnered by Media Challenge, Debunk Media Initiative, and with the support of the US Mission in Uganda. Let's clap for our partners, please. Yeah. Because all this would not be possible if our partners were not here to support. So special shout outs and thank you to the US Mission. And of course, I would love to welcome our online audience. Thank you so much for joining us. They already told you the hashtag, #MVTalks24. You can be able to use that hashtag when you're posting, commenting on the various social media platforms. Please don't forget to tag us at IMC, that's Challenge, Media Challenge Initiative, then at the Debunk Show, or you can see Debunk Media Initiative, and of course, we'll be able to have this conversation continue. So as I've rightly been introduced, my name is Edgar Matthew Karohanga. That is Kampala University. We have all those students here. Thank you so much. We could not do what we do without your support. So we've trained young students in various universities, both here in the urban centers, but also in the rural communities. We've continued to do fact checks. I write fact checks. I also produce fact checks, video fact checks and text fact checks, trying to debunk false information. In my other gigs, I am a political journalist. I work with Digitalk TV. I host a morning show. It's called The Mighty Drive Show. It airs from 8 to 10 every Monday to Friday. And I also host the Hotline Show. It's purely English and it's political in nature as well. And lastly, I host the Interface Show with retired Dr. Kiza Besige. So in my other gigs, I'm a bit political in nature. Yeah. But this conversation is about disarming misinformation to ensure media viability. And without any further wastage of time, allow me welcome our panelists for the day. These people, I have known them, and I hope that they will bless you as they have done me. I'm going to first introduce a gentleman. He is called Joseph Elunya. Joseph Elunya is a co-founder at Reality Check. It's a fact-checking organization. You're welcome, sir. Let's clap for him. This gentleman was our first mentor when we started the Debunk Show. For those who don't know, it was never the Debunk Media Initiative as an organization. It first started as a show where we would debunk information about COVID-19, how you can treat COVID-19 and things like that. So that gentleman was the first person to usher us into the culture of fact-checking. So I can rightly say that you are our big brother, sir. Thank you so much for coming. Okay. We also have another, this one now is our son. He is an influencer, social media influencer. He is called Ishmael Abenaitwe. Many of you know him as Ishmael the host. Why I call him our son is because he was our first intern at Debunk Media Initiative. So forever he's our son. So we're always happy to have you, sir. Thank you so much for joining us. And then we were supposed to have Mr. Ali Kakembo. I think he will be joining us subsequently as we continue with this particular discussion. But Ali Kakembo is a fact checker, but he's also a fact checking trainer with the Media Challenge Initiative, and he's one of the people who also ushered us into this particular culture of fact checking that was back then in 2020. He'll be joining us later. Then this one is last but definitely not least. He is live on Zoom. He's called Nanlana Mambikwa. He's from the Center for Innovation and Technology, and of course he's live from Bulawayo, Zimbabwe. Thank you so much for joining us. Great. Okay, so I'll just move here. By the way, we're talking about media viability. Do we know what media viability is? Anybody who knows media viability? Tell us what media viability is. A microphone. What is media viability? Anybody? What is media viability? If I add on that there is a gift to the person who answers, will that instigate you to answer? Okay, there is a gift for someone who tells me what media viability is. And it's okay to ask Google. Please give her a microphone. The lady in the back. Okay, let's first have her. Please, because of time, let's try to hurry up.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
My name is Regina.
Yes, Regina.
My name is Regina.
Yes, Regina.
Media viability is the sustainability and effectiveness of media houses.
There is an element that you've forgotten. Please reread it if you were reading. Take your time.
It's the sustainability and effectiveness of media houses to achieve their intended purposes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Let's clap for her. I promised you a gift. Regan, is Regan in the building? Regan can come and help us. El Shaddai, come. Sorry for putting you on the spot. There is a gift for her in the back. Thank you so much. It takes a lot of courage to speak. Have you seen it? Pick one. I think they are. It's one, eh? Okay. All right, let's clap for her. Thank you so much. So media viability is really the ability of media outlets to produce fact-based information or journalism, but in a sustainable manner. And I'm going to start with Mr. Elunya. He's the senior on this panel. I want you to just paint a picture of the connection between this disinformation that we address and misinformation to media viability, to ensuring accuracy. Just paint a picture for us, and first really introduce yourself, tell these people what you do, your story, and then you can just link us to how disinformation and misinformation is linked to media viability, really. You're welcome. Oh, microphone. You shall need another one for the second panelist.
Well, my name's Joseph Elunya, co-founder Reality Check Uganda, and a student at Aga Khan Graduate School of Media and Communications. Just said that when she talked about defining media viability, one aspect that she left out is quality journalism. Because when you produce fact-based quality journalism, then it can lead to sustainability. Okay. Now you asked me the link between misinformation, disinformation, and then media viability. What usually happens is that when in the current media ecosystem, the media has the legacy media has lost, the legacy has lost trust. There was a report done, a research done by Reuters in 2023, which alluded to the fact that about 40% of people still have trust in the media. And the figures may be alarming in Uganda, though there is no empirical facts to back that. Because as people lose trust in the media, people have turned to social media, social influencers. My colleague here is a social influencer. People have turned to them because they believe they are the last man standing. In the era where the media, also because of partly the way the media operates, media sometimes, there are no-go areas for the media, maybe because of the gatekeeping and the rest. Whereas for social media, they do not have any gatekeeping. Unfortunately, because of low media literacy, people tend to believe in the social media more than they would believe in the mainstream media. So what this happens is that we lose numbers as legacy media. So when we lose numbers, that means it also affects our sustainability. So that really, there is a connection in there. When we lose numbers, we also lose loss of trust, loss of credibility, not generally loss of trust.
And also loss of money, by the way, because these are the people who are bringing money to the media houses.
Yeah, how it also leads to loss of money is that as people now increasingly turn to social media companies use forced adverts. And then with the numbers, they're able to get market.
Okay.
And then leave the, most advertisers have also shifted away from legacy media because of the low numbers.
Yes, and they've actually now come to the Ishmaels of this world. But then I want you to just paint a picture for us. How are the media literacy levels among the people you have trained? And I don't want us to really stick to only the general public. I want you to also look at these students, look at the journalists. How are their media literacy levels? Because I say this knowing very well that there are some people who have studied the craft, but they cannot actually implement this particular craft. The media literacy levels are low, yet they have actually been to school. I want you to just paint a picture for us. How is it in your perspective? As I come to Ms. Mabikwa to give us a context of Zimbabwe. Yelunya.
Yeah. When you talk of media literacy, even among journalists themselves, it's wanting. Maybe because of the nature of training. Many times, media, especially in Uganda, actually pick direct from social media, and it gets into the mainstream media. When you begin fact-checking it, you find even the legacy media has run what social media is running. Because media literacy would then mean that when you get information, you should be able to analyze it for the facts and then report facts. But in the era of breaking news, media struggles, they compete. Unfortunately, the media sometimes competes with the influencers in breaking news. And in that competition, it also leads to spread of mis and disinformation. And then, of course, you ask me as a media trainer, because I train journalists, I teach journalism. Also, when you look at in the curriculum, there is nothing like fact-checking and the rest in the curriculum. Especially, maybe we'll deal much more about that, but it's wanting even among the so-called elites. I do not want to call them elites, but there is generally very low levels of literacy. That's why when you look at a newspaper like Bukede, which actually, fortunately or unfortunately, sales is the leading, it leads in sales in the whole country. But when you look at what they report on Bukede, it's for an average man, a man in Owino, a man in downtown, but the quality of journalism, if you look at it, unfortunately, because of low levels of literacy, people consume it more than. So if it is fake news, if something, fake news gets into such papers. I've seen like the war between Ukraine and Russia, they simply go on internet, pick something and then say this, what the Russians are, or maybe the Ukrainians are doing, and it is what the local man discusses, the local man buys the paper, so there is really low levels, even among the media, of literacy.
Thank you so much, Joseph Olunya. If you're just joining us, we're having a conversation about media literacy as we juxtapose it with how it's affecting media viability in this country. So how are the literacy levels of people, various communities being affected or affecting media viability? I'm going to come to Ms. Mabikwa from Bulamayo. Just paint a picture for us in your context in Zimbabwe. How are the media literacy levels and how are you people trying to counter disinformation? Oh, in fact, before you even go to the countering disinformation, how are the media literacy levels affecting media viability in the context of Zimbabwe? And I hope I've pronounced your name right, Mabikwa.
And I'm from Zimbabwe. Just to introduce myself, I'm a journalist. I studied journalism and media studies at the National University of Science and Technology. So I have a bachelor's and a master's degree as well in journalism. And then I'm also a media and information literacy trainer. So I've trained people in my community here in Hawaii, and I've also trained people how to be media and information literacy trainers here in Zimbabwe and also in Zambia. And currently, what I do day to day, actually, I work at the Center for Innovation and Technology, mainly on X. We have an X space where we hold discussion, and I moderate this discussion on politics, social issues, and current affairs. So that is what I do. And coming to your question, I think most of the things also align to what my colleague was just speaking to now. But also you realize that when you talk of media literacy, talk of people, of the ability of people to critically analyze media messages and all that. And in the Zimbabwean context, we realize that the media is polarized. Either you are anti-government or pro-government. And we do have media that tries to strike the balance and do fair reporting. But, this kind of polarity has also gone down to the consumers of the media as well. So, which means that with no media information literacy levels, people get to be selected and to say, okay, this is media that reports what people get to do or what I prefer to do. And that is the danger thing. You're just taking in what you're feeling as it is and believing it. And also the danger is that you are only listening to media that feeds or that fuel that don't believe. And at the end of the day, you don't get to strike that balance. And because of that, the media are being trained to feed that kind of information that people want to do. That's when all the professional journalism is because at the end of it, people are becoming sensational writers. The professional journalism is like from the beginning, because now we're talking about bias as well, when politics. So that is what happens, and this also brings in the issue of decreased engagement. When there's no media literacy or decline in trust, can lead to decreased engagement with news content. People start getting attitude to say, why should I know that this is different in this kind of but also in Zambia. The Zambian context for frank understanding is more like the Ugandan context, and which also fits to the Zimbabwean context, because at the end of the day, people then go on social media and then say, you know what, we'll have our own declarations, agree to disagree or get to a final conclusion after our deliberation. So social media is also playing really a great role in trying to, get the balance of the story and also understanding of what is really happening. And there's also fact checks that have been done. You said you are fact check and so also here in Zimbabwe, particularly a local organization coming up, doing fact checks, and even in my organization where I work, we also have a fact checking section where people can get to see issues, trending issues, and maybe like checking for more clients. Yeah.
Thank you, Ms. Mambikwa. You give a very interesting analogy, and you also paint the picture that I think Elunya also painted from our context. We all agree that there is a bit of media viability has been undermined. So we want to ask ourselves, where does this come from? Because these journalists who are working in these media houses have come from somewhere. We believe that they have been trained enough to be able to report accurately and not, bring about or disadvantage media viability. But where does it come from? And I'm going to start with you, since you have been a student recently and you've graduated. You've been through this curriculum. What are some of those inconsistencies? What are some of those limitations that you think have led to this crisis at the top? Because I believe these people have come from high schools, they've been trained into telling stories accurately, they know what they're supposed to do, but they're not doing it, which in turn undermines media sustainability, which is media viability. So at the end of the day, sir, according to your experience as a student, as bringing a trainer who has been among these students, I want you to just paint a picture for us. How is the curriculum in terms of leading to this particular issue? You're welcome, Ishmael.
Okay, thank you so much. First things first, I will thank the Almighty for making this event a success. Yeah, He predestined it for that at a time as this, we should be here discussing disarming disinformation and misinformation. And like Reagan quoted the Bible, the truth shall set you free. Yeah, so I believe, I have all the facts to believe that this event is really godly.
Yes.
Now, before I answer the question, sorry, I love stories, yeah? Okay. So, before all this social media influencing and being a student, I was a villager back in Bushenyi district. So I held my first smartphone really in 2019 when I was joining university. I again apologize, I love stories, yeah? So that is when that is when I held my first smartphone, and I specifically do X influencing, Twitter influencing. The thing that pushed me to start influencing on Twitter was actually my roommate. He influenced me because he was going about this one girl he had in his ex DM. So I joined Twitter to actually find love. But I don't want to tell you how that went, because you can actually see the sitting posture of a single person. But something turned out really great. The love adventure may have been put to a standstill, but I was introduced to this thing called social media influencing and Twitter and everything to do with social media. And over the years, it has evolved to involve things like artificial intelligence. And before I held my first smartphone, my education was just pen and paper. Like I said, my education was now I'm coming to your question. My education was rural. So now I get introduced to the phone. I get to know that I can get answers on social media, on Google. And that is a problem also. Because these answers can lead to plagiarism and all that. Those same answers can lead to disinformation and misinformation, the problem we are discussing right now. But then why is it still a problem? Yet, the lecturers actually teach about disarming and fighting disinformation and misinformation. But now, speaking of the curriculum, I won't do PR for the Ministry of Education. The truth is, there is limited media literacy, especially to do with disinformation and misinformation and how to fight that. Right from baby class, we come up learning things, even in high school, we learn things like the Pythagorean theorem. Now we come to campus, we learn so little about how to fight all this information. But thank God for organizations, for example, like Disarming Media Initiative. Thank God.
I think that's where we clap when they say we thank God for Disarming Media Initiative. Yeah. Okay, continue, Ishmael.
Thank God for media literacy trainers, like my friend here and my friend there. They are doing a great work. Why? They have realized, and this confirms my fact, this is not an assumption. They have actually realized that in school, there is very limited attention given to media literacy, especially concerning how to disarm disinformation and misinformation. Now, that's where you guys come in. You go to universities, and I can confirm that while I was a student at Makerere University, because I'm now a graduate, while I was a student, I saw a team from the Bank Media Initiative. The Bellas, before I got to know them, they were actually teaching us how to spot misinformation, how to know that this is fact-checkable and this is not fact-checkable. What do you do when you spot misinformation? How to do research, how to think twice before reposting or resharing, how to use fact-checking tools. Now, back to your question, why is it still a problem? Though, it is still a problem, one, because of digitalization. So Edgar Matthew Karhanga and my friend, Mr. Ali Kakembo, who come to Makerere University and tell me, oh, see Ishmael, when you see something that you feel like is false on social media, please wait to repost. But you know what? If I repost that, false information, disinformation is so emotional appealing. Like we always say in Uganda, abantu bagala nnyo ebyononese, yeah? The translation is, people love spoiled things. That's the very direct translation. So disinformation and false information will give me impressions.
Yes.
Now when it gives me impressions, I would just trash the thing you told me when you came to Makerere. Why? Because with digitalization and the enhancement of social media networks, we have things like payment. For example, I can directly earn right now from from Twitter. X is formerly Twitter. Now, my earning comes from impressions, not the class you told me about fact-checking.
Yes.
Maybe you didn't give me an allowance even when you came. So now, if this information can give me an allowance, if this information can pay me, why not spread it? I'm not saying that I spread this information.
Okay.
I'm just trying to show you guys that a lot can actually be done. But when this information and false information and its spread comes with sugar coats, we shall not move forward, yeah?
Okay.
We shall not move forward, yeah.
All right, thank you, Ishmael. Ishmael also brings out very pertinent issues. He paints a picture. For those who don't like storytelling, he actually paints a picture for us. Though I got some stray bullets for allowances, and I think I had given the allowances, but are we supposed to even give allowances to give you wisdom and knowledge? But let's continue. I've been joined by a fact-checking trainer, but he has also been a fact-checker, Mr. Ali Kakembo. And he paints a picture of this education system, that it's the things that are relevant today, we are still in the old school. We are in the age of artificial intelligence. We are in the age of Bitcoin. We are in the age of a lot of things, but we are still into the old school rhetoric of yes, what, where, why, how, yes, but there is something missing. And the other thing is we are doing really theories, because I know young people who leave universities and they can't write a news story, but they are journalists. And I'm not scorning at anybody, but this is the actual reality. So please continue on where he stopped in terms of the limitations of this particular curricula. But what I also want from you is to paint a picture for how we can solve this particular issue. How can we fight, how can we create a better curriculum for our students to be able to answer the questions, the now problems that we are facing in the media today? You're welcome, sir.
Thank you so much, Karul Hanga and the fellow panelists. I think this is a challenge that cuts across different levels and layers of education. Starting with the policy makers, you get to the Ministry of Education, you get to National Council for Higher Education. We don't have a comprehensive structure that captures media and information literacy. And in the journey of fact-checking training, we've gone to institutions, I'll not mention any, where you look at a tutor or lecturer that is in need of the knowledge about fact-checking more than the students themselves. So I think the lack of a comprehensive structure that caters for the students and the tutors is very important. The other challenge is the laissez-faire kind of life that young people are living. We've also been in some of the universities, and then it is the first time for a trainee who is a year 3 student to hear about fact-checking. And this is a storyteller who is going to graduate in a few months, but then they don't know anything about misinformation and disinformation, and they can't tell the difference. So, as much as the burden is carried by the Ministry of Education, the teachers and so on, but the laissez-faire kind of life has also been very common.
We are unserious as a people, you're saying.
I didn't want to say that.
Let me say it for you.
And be it in the fellowship program, people have been genuine. I've not had any session about fact-checking, but this is someone who's going to graduate, and they are writing a story in the following month in one of the credible media houses. And then if they have not had a chance to have the skills that are required to do fact-checking, then this becomes a challenge in general that is beyond the Ministry of Education, National Council for Education, and so on and so forth. So I think the individual responsibility and self-accountability for young storytellers is also something that I need to take note of. You asked me about a solution. At Media Challenge, we've developed a curriculum. That curriculum supports us to do the trainings for practicing journalists, but at the same time for journalism students. So I think if we work hand in hand with the policymakers, with the Ministry of Education and Sports, then it is very easy. Look at this.
Okay.
When it comes to the curriculum, who is preparing this curriculum? And who is being prepared the curriculum for? But then who is preparing the curriculum? Someone who has existed and boosting around, working with Radio Uganda or Uganda TV. But the person they are preparing the curriculum for is the Gen Z.
Is on TikTok.
Someone is on TikTok.
Exactly.
So I think we need to look at that, and then it's very easy if the partnership is between the development partners and then that understand what is existing on the ground, and then the policymakers and the Ministry of Education and Sports as well.
Okay, thank you. You said something that is very, very important. I still wonder why these partners are the ones coming to see the problem. The policymakers, aren't you seeing the problem? The people who are designing this curriculum, how can someone who's 20,000 kilometers away come and find a problem as disinformation and see that that's a problem and support a solution? And that brings me to my last question. I know it wasn't part of the panel, but have you tried engaging these policymakers, the legislature, these people in the systems? Have you tried? And what is the response? What's their response? In just a minute.
Many were. I'll answer that in a few seconds. Many policymakers were invited here, but how many attended it today? So if it's about engagement, even before we get to having a policy paper, such conversations are very crucial, because that's when you have a clear conversation and forge a way. But how many attended today?
Yeah, silence is the best one. Thank you so much, Mr. Kakembo. Let's clap for Mr. Kakembo for his submission. Shout outs to Mr. Mark Mugaga. He's watching us from Canada. Thank you so much to our online audience. I see a couple of questions coming through. When we get time, we shall be able to read. Maybe as we conclude or come to the end of the conclusion, there's also artificial intelligence, AI, or what we call technological advancements that are also now, creating an influx of information, some false, some accurate. How can we leverage, I'm going to come to you, Elunya, how can we leverage these innovations and to be able to help us in debunking false information? But also, before you answer that, how are they undermining, for someone who's listening to you, how do you think these technological innovations, the AI images and videos, how are they undermining people's decision-making processes and access to accurate information or factual information? Mr. Elunya.
Thank you very much for that question. When we talk of AI and the media is actually where the media is going. Sometimes when I look at journalists who are in institutions, especially with the level of how they're being trained, I feel pity. Because they're being taught on a curriculum of 1980s, and yet we are in a totally different ecosystem of the media. So if you're still being taught, and that's what is happening, including at Makerere and elsewhere, the journalists are still being trained in the old style of training. But the media ecosystem is moving so fast. Media stations are already trying on, I don't know if any media in Uganda is already trying artificial intelligence, but I've seen Al Jazeera is doing. So even as some of you go to Jan's school with the aim of being a newscaster, AI can do that now. So your job is under threat. But as the AI, as the advancement also takes shape, so comes along with other problems, especially for malicious spread of information. It's increasingly, with the help of AI, misinformation and disinformation now spreads more faster using algorithms. It can be programmed and it can reach multiple people. Because remember, AI, every time you visit the web, AI actually collects your data. And as it collects your data, it will send for you user-generated, information targeting you because they know what you like surfing. So if you're interested in surfing about the current conflicts around the world, Russia, Ukraine, they will send generated information targeting you as a user because they know that's what you like. So increasingly, the use of AI indeed is also posing a very big challenge when it comes to spread of malicious information. But we can also use AI to solve some of those issues.
Okay.
An example, we've just been shown how the bank chat box is doing. So AI is helping in that way.
Exactly. Okay, thank you. I'm going to come to you, Ishmael, especially on social media. You are an influencer. How do we deal with these technological advancements, the AIs, especially in debunking false information? You have been trained in fact-checking. What do you think? How can we counter AI, especially on social media, where you are, X and other social media platforms?
Thank you so much, Edgar Matthew. So I will start with the problem. AI is two-sided. It can be a solution, it can be a problem. Now, the problematic bit of it is that people, for example, can use AI to be anonymous. AI encourages anonymity, bots. For example, you will find a TikTok account that is 100% fully AI. A Chinese old woman who gives advice to people. A young boy of 4 years who speaks about politics. This information may not be necessarily accurate. Now, when we come to still about content creation, I can use Meta AI. I know now most of us are used to Meta AI. I can use Meta AI to imagine anything. I can imagine myself in a mango tree picking a mango. Before the advancement and coming of AI, you would have to first climb that mango tree. Yes. And like my colleague said right here, algorithms, those are AI-based. They see what you love. If you love to interact with people that spread misinformation, the algorithm will bring you their posts. It will not bring you fact checks. So AI really aids the spread of misinformation. Now the solution.
Exactly. In just like 3 minutes tops.
The solution, there is already something being done using artificial intelligence. I frequent Twitter a lot, so I will use it as my polling place. When you will encounter a post, especially these political posts, now that America is in, the US is in the election period, people will post anything. Twitter will flag such posts false. That is artificial intelligence. You'll find something like this post has been flagged false, and there will be the right information. Now, there is Grok AI on Twitter. I'm sorry if you do not, if you do not get these terms, but Grok is like Meta AI, like you see on WhatsApp and Instagram. So Grok AI is programmed to bring you information that aligns with Twitter rules and regulations. One of the Twitter rules and regulations is truthfulness. So if you see something that you feel, you doubt, you can use Grok AI and ask, like we have the debunk verifier here. Grok AI will help you filter. So you can see AI is yes a problem, but artificial intelligence is also being used by even already existing social media networks like Twitter to debunk false information.
Thank you, Mr. Abenaitwe. We are coming to the end of this. Yeah, please clap. If you want to clap, please clap. Yeah, he deserves them. Mr. Kakembo, what I want you to do is to just paint a picture for the next, let's say, 50 years. As these digital innovations, technologies are evolving, how does the media look like in terms of media viability, especially around mis and disinformation, in such a time when technological advancements are on a rather high note? So speaking to our next 50 years, what does this look like?
AI will be here, and it's here to stay. We just need to forge a way of how best we can work with it. Journalists that have not been retooled will be kicked out of the newsroom because technology will keep on growing and growing. And indeed, if we keep with the same kind of attitude, because one has a brand name at at the level of Uganda, not even at the East African level. I'm a journalist of so and so media house, and they don't want to retool as per technological advancement is concerned. Indeed, I don't know if they'll be living by 50 years, but many will be kicked out of the newsrooms. AI, as I said, will be here to stay, but it is a tool that will still support us to fight misinformation and disinformation. You've seen platforms like X and Facebook flagging posts that are under misinformation, all disinformation, all hate speech. So the language of AI will keep on growing, and it will not in any way depart the newsroom.
Okay, lastly, I'm going to come back to our panelist who's online, Ms. Mambikwa. Maybe lastly, quick one in a minute or two, highlight on the issue of technological advancements and artificial intelligence and the rest in the context still of Zimbabwe. How are you dealing with this issue? Is it actually an issue, in your context?
So much, and thank you to my colleagues. Okay. You know, when we talk on viability, we are talking of media as a business thriving, we are talking of building journalism as a profession as well. And I think I'd like to speak on these media issues to say, in Zimbabwe, yes, AI has come and media houses are embracing AI, and our previous speaker has said, AI is here to stay, and I believe we just need to embrace technology. So for me, I think first we need to adapt to the changing consumer habits as well. You know, it's no longer about it's no longer only about the breaking news. You know? So we need to understand and cater to the evolving needs of preferences of digital audiences, which takes me to my next point of investing in quality journalism. You know, now we need to talk about solution journalism, investigative journalism, where people really prioritize going into investigated, researched pieces that are not just breaking the news and leaving it there, and not doing a proper follow-up or an in-depth investigation into the issue as well. And like I said, we need to embrace innovation. So with these technologies, let's explore the format, to enhance our stories, to enhance our media product as well, and also for fact-checking as well. Also, we need to build trust and credibility. This is one thing that we need to do as the media, to make sure that we focus on transparency, accuracy, and ethical standards to maintain public trust. So at media houses, we really need to be more focused on making sure that the stories that we put out there, we have gone through them with a vast process of fact-checking these issues. When I was in Zambia, I went to the news speaker in Zambia, and they were taking us through the process of a story from idealization to investigation until public. It's the whole process. And many times, journalists are under pressure to break the story, and this process is not followed. And so we really need to invest in that. Also, we need to diversify the revenue streams. Let's explore alternative
Thank you, Miss Mambekwa. I like the accent of our people, our friends from Southern Africa. Fact checking, credibility. Thank you so much, Miss Mambekwa. We've come to the end of this particular conversation. I would love to recognize the presence of our co-founder and head of education, research and training here at Media Challenge Initiative, Mr. Antonio Kisembo. We honor you, sir. But also thank you to our, yes, let's clap for him. Let's clap for him. Yeah, and also I would love to thank our panelists. I'm not going to give you time to give us parting shots because we do not have time. Same as you, you had a couple of questions, but because of time, we're not going to take those questions. My name is Edgar Matthew Karuhanga. This gentleman is called Ishmael Abenaitwe. The other gentleman is called Mr. Elunya Joseph. This gentleman is called Mr. Kakembo Ali. Sorry, it's an all-male, no, it's not even an all-male panel. All-male physical panel, but there is a female on Zoom. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen.
You can follow me on my social media platforms.
Over you conclude. Over you conclude, sir. Okay, let's give him 20 seconds.
Yeah, I just didn't want to let it pass. Ishmael, the host, TikTok, X, everywhere. You will find me. And we shall interact. I have very engaging content. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you so much. From the entire team, God bless you. We're not here because we are the smartest of them all, really, no? It's because it's a privilege and the mercy of the Lord God. So I hope you believe that we all do everything courtesy of Christ, right? So may God bless you.
Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for Edgar and the entire team. Thank you so much. Very insightful conversations right there. Now, coming up next, I'll be having a few remarks from the CEO, Media Challenge Initiative, Mr. Abbas Mpindi. Mr. Abbas Mpindi.
Am I getting a seat? No. Hello. How are you? Good? Okay. I'll keep this very, very short because I think you've been seated here for a long time. So on behalf of MCI, Media Challenge Initiative, Debunk Media Initiative, I would like to thank the American Embassy, represented here by Lindsay and Suhail. Clap for these family members here. For the partnership that helped us to work on this project with Debunk. So we've spent the last, I think, 2 years convening people here to discuss media viability. And we've had a lot of conversations around, media viability, because everyone, if you are a young journalist, that's also one of the media viability issues. If you're a young journalist and you want to work in the media industry, one of the most key issues that you need to think about is this word viability. So before you finish school, start even brainstorming and thinking. And then start thinking about what are the challenges that affect the viability of our industry, the viability of quality of reporting and the quality of journalism that you are meant to produce. Specific to this topic, the fight against disinformation and misinformation is very dear to this institution because we know that young people are the high target of these campaigns that either are online or even offline. Why? Because young people have the power. Why? Because young people are also the biggest percentage of the population. So to have you misinformed and disinformed is probably the best thing that could happen to anyone out there who wishes to have their, you know, their way out. So what we are doing is not just facilitate media literacy, facilitate fact-checking, or debunk media initiative, launching the media bot. What we're actually doing here is fight against ignorance. And I want you to think about that. You're actually working every day to provide factual information that will help to make someone more aware about their rights, more aware about public services, more aware about how they need to vote, more aware about where they need to get certain services in their communities. So it's not just, you know, fighting mis and disinformation. For me, it's a whole idea of fighting ignorance and making people aware that, one, as a public, I mean, unfortunately here we have a percentage of us are journalists, but as a public, as journalists, we need to make sure that the public invests heavily in the media. And they don't have to give us money. Or they can give us money. But they have to, you know, give us money through subscribing. They have to give us money through reading, buying and reading newspapers. They have to listen to radio. They have to increase. But for them, as a public, to do that, you as journalists, you have to produce some really, really quality information or journalism that they're able to consume. Now, if you are here today and maybe it's confusing you, disarming dis and misinformation to strengthen media viability. What happens is that the more we let disinformation and misinformation overtake our platforms, the more we are actually losing the whole idea of truth and facts. So then, that's why you see people saying we don't believe in the media anymore. Because people don't know where to go to find the facts. So our own way to safeguard what we hold dear as an industry is through safeguarding the media and journalism landscape from mis and disinformation. And that's my responsibility, and that's your responsibility as young journalists, but also as creators. So if you want ideas of how to do that, please visit the Debunk Media Initiative team and interest yourself in this idea of just falling in love with facts. So when I speak about, you know, people falling in love with facts, because I think it's the idea of being curious, it's the idea of questioning, it's the idea of you being, not just saying yes, 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 yes to everything, to being able to question even those people that you think and believe are your trusted sources. So I'm very sure that the team, Edgar and the other panelists have talked about that. But if I can leave one thing that I want you to do, is that as a young person, what is that one thing that makes you stand out? What is that one thing that makes you stand out on social media? Your literacy. Okay. Oh, you want to explain? All right, this man.
Thank you. Now, the difference between Ishmael, the host, and any other influencer out there is because Ishmael, the host, has interacted with organizations like the Debunk Media Initiative, fact-checking trainers like Ali Kakembo, and
What makes you stand out?
The literacy I've gotten from those interactions. Okay. So let me explain the literacy. So When I interact with a post online and I realize that it is misleading, I will quote it, I will tag organizations that can help debunk it professionally, unlike someone out there who has not undertaken literacy classes.
Thank you. I think what makes you stand out as an individual is knowing you can blur this on YouTube, knowing your shit. When you know your stuff, or when you know your things, it's really hard for you to just take in each and everything that you meet anywhere. And for me, if there's anything that I can encourage you or push each and every person here to go out there and do, is just get people to fall in love with facts from the beginning. Get them to know where to find facts. And also get them to understand that even those platforms can be compromised anytime, right? And that's the whole idea, that with social media platforms, with each and everyone being an active journalist there, in quotes, you are bound to get a lot of information that is misleading. And it's your responsibility, like I said, and it's our responsibility. So with those few words, I hope that you go home and tell everyone to fall in love with facts and use that as a gospel. Like, let them become the pastor of facts in your community, and just, for me, it's mass awareness. Are we together? It's mass awareness, and you have to lead that. It's not just me. I can come here and talk about it. I can go in communities, but we need to get people to fight for this the same way you had people fight against HIV, because there's no big difference. You probably are shocked now, but there's no big difference. We are fighting two pandemics. So you're still fighting HIV in this country, but you still now have to fight against the epidemic, the infodemic, or whatever you call it. But that needs the same energy and needs the same attention. And it means probably fact-checking may not work 100%. Maybe media literacy may not work 100%. Maybe, and I believe we have to find new ways to make it as sleek as possible so that people out there can, believe in journalism, believe in media, because that's where they will find the truth and facts. Thank you so much. And back to you, our host for today. Please clap for Mahora, everyone.
Thank you so much, Mr. Abbas Mpindi. Before you go, please, we have to take a group photo with the partners.
So, all right.
Yes, I would like to invite. Yes, I would like to invite the team from the Debunk Media Initiative and the U.S. mission in Uganda. Some music from the band.
Debunk Media. Clap for Debunk, everyone. Guys are award-winning fact-checkers.
Yes, they are.
Media literacy experts. After this, we dance, huh? In the spirit of... Hey. Okay. We will crop some people who are not here. Okay. Photographer.
Say cheese.
So sorry for you guys to have to watch us do this. We love you so much. Taking only that. All right, 1, 2, we're saying debunk or facts? Oh no, it's, okay, facts. All right, 1, 2, 3. Facts. Thank you. Good.
Everybody, can we stand up and sing for Abbas and celebrate him? Happy birthday, Abbas. Happy birthday to you. Dear Abbas, happy birthday, dear Abbas. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday, dear Abbas. Happy birthday, Abbas Simpindi. We love you, we celebrate you many, many more years. So we're counting from 5, 3, 2, 1, 0. Happy birthday, Abbas.
Baby, follow my command like zombie. Go down on me or leave your coca. Follow my command like zombie. Go down on me or leave your coca. Cause this on me, not fighting a zombie. Can't let on me or baby. Some of your
Oh yes, while we enjoy the cake and the dance moves, there are a few sticky notes passing by. There's a question that's already on the screen. So we've done a few of your answers, and in the next session we'll be reading out some of them. And the question is, did the session address the band? Turn down a bit. Thank you. So the question right now is, did the session address the impact of mis and disinformation on the credibility and sustainability of media outlets? If yes, how? So the sticky notes being given out, make sure you write down your answer and you'll do the same thing as you did earlier. Take it away. I had told them about it. All right, thank you so much, the CMH band. We're still on, the agenda is still on. We haven't yet signed out, so make sure you stick around. And earlier we did have the question that said, did the session address impact the mission and rather the mis and disinformation on the credibility and sustainability of media outlets? If yes, how? And that was earlier. I have a few responses from some of you, and I'll be reading some in a bit. Yes, here they are. Someone said, fact checks are crucial to verify credibility and ensuring truth and accuracy in storytelling, especially in the era of fake news. The other person said, taking significance on how to teach people the truth on how information will be received by the public. Very interesting. And the other person said, creating awareness that false information is being spread and people outside there are actually believing it. Thank you so much. And well, I hope we're still together. People at the back. People at the back, can we turn down a bit? So much noise coming from the back. All right, so have you gotten sticky notes yet for the next session? Can I see your sticky notes in the air, if you have your sticky notes? Can we have everyone come back to their seats? Kindly move back to their seats. Thank you so much. Victoria, I see you have another meeting there. I appreciate you. Ladies and gentlemen, please come back to your seats such that we can continue with the next session. So yeah, if you have sticky notes ready, please make sure you do scribble down an answer for did the session address the impact of mis and disinformation on the credibility and sustainability of media outlets? So as we all aware that we already have the debunk verifier application, so we are now not going to be looking any further, nothing like AI. We're not going to be looking out for ChatGPT. We're going to be using the Media Verifier app. So if you have an Android phone, feel free, download it from your App Store, Play Store. And if you have iOS, Apple people, we have
I am Marina Theo, CEO Debunk Media Initiative in Uganda. On this day, I am very excited to share with you a remarkable milestone in our advocacy for access to factual information. Ladies and gentlemen, Debunk Information Verifier. Debunk Information Verifier is a mobile application we designed to help Ugandan youths counter misinformation and disinformation in real time. We've partnered with US Mission to Uganda to transform a dream that began in 2020 as a video fact-checking show. And in 2021, we launched our WhatsApp number in partnership with the Digital Human Rights Lab, Startup Africa, and with support from GIZ. A year later, in 2022, we transformed the chatbot into an API version under the Innovators in Residence program with partnership from Aga Khan University, Media Center in Kenya, the Media Challenge Initiative, AHAB, and with support from Aga Khan University. The chatbot allowed users to send us possible misinformation they encountered online, and our dedicated team of fact-checkers would then verify, fact-check, and then send the users back factual and accurate information. Until now, we celebrate broadcasting factual information to over 5,000 WhatsApp users. Today, we are leveraging the power of AI to ensure that we automate the fact-checking process using the Debunk Information Verifier. The app development began in 2023 when the entire project kicked off, and it's going to empower several Ugandans to counter misinformation and other forms of disinformation. We've taken this app to several youths in universities during our fact-checking trainings, and we are also marketing it online. The app is now available on both Apple Store and Google Play Store, and it's marking a very fresh print in tracking and fact-checking misinformation in Uganda. You need to download it too. As of today, the app has been downloaded 474 times, 305 times on Apple Store, and 169 times on Google Play Store. We are thrilled to see how many young people are taking action to access accurate information and fight against misinformation. Looking ahead, the Bank Information Verify is bound to continue expanding with new features, ensuring accessibility to accurate information, and also to ensure that we build a community of fact checkers. I want to thank the entire team at the Bank Media Initiative, community, the people, the users, the new ones and the old ones, and in a very special way, our partners, US Mission to Uganda, universities and the Media Challenge Initiative. Thank you so much for all the support.
A round of applause for Marion Apio. She's the CEO of the Bank Media Initiative. And at this juncture, I would like to call upon Twine Bella to give us a few insights, just in case you were not paying attention to the video on the screen. She'll just give us a few insights on how you can use the app. Twine Bella.
Thank you so much. It's going to be very short. I just want to take you through how to download the app, but also our future plans for our application. And in case you'd want to partner with us and be a part of the future, these are some of the ways, yeah? I don't know if, okay, yeah, we're going to skip that. So of course, we've already talked about the information verifier, the debunk information verifier, how we were able to build it, alongside other, alongside other supporting partners. Next. We're going to skip that as well. We're going to skip that. We've talked about how we used skilled researchers. We also used data that is credible and also are using credible websites, or rather verified information, to make sure that it informs the information that you receive as an end user. We're going to skip that as well. We've talked about these things. One of the